Welcome to Tony Tone Barbecue. I'm Tony, and we're going to do another late afternoon cook. It is 6:43 on the ThermoPro clock, and I've got some stuff here we're going to cook on the Oklahoma Joe's Judge charcoal grill. We got some corn, we got some pork shoulder strips, which are they're gonna be fun. I like them. We got some potatoes here that I've already oiled up and seasoned up with some Italian seasoning, and some mushrooms. My goal is to get all this cooked on this grill and get them all done about the same time. So first thing we got to do is I'm going to go ahead and get gloved up with my Pitbull gloves here, and we will go and get this grill fired up. I'm going to walk you through the steps I do on setting up my Oklahoma Joe's Judge charcoal grill. And we're going to be burning Kingsford charcoal for this cook. I'm guessing this whole thing is going to take maybe hour and 15 minutes with the charcoal getting heated up and everything. So why don't we have a look inside here? With what we've got here. This is the Judge after the last time I used it. You can see here the grate is still a little oily from the last cook, which I leave it that way on purpose. There's no charcoal down in here. Let me go ahead and pick up one of these grates, and I'll walk you through my setup process and my whole thought process behind getting set up here. We're going to set those grates aside over here. If you look down inside here, we've got our charcoal grate here. I'm going to be piling up all my charcoal about right over here. I'm going to show you how much I'm going to use. I'm going to use the charcoal chimney starter to get that going. Down in here, this is the ash pan. You can see there's some aluminum foil here. After each cook, I shake loose the ashes. I take this, they all fall onto a sheet of aluminum foil just like this one. I just roll it up, throw that in the trash, lay down some new aluminum foil. I'm good to go for the next cook. So I'm gonna get the charcoal going, and we'll be back in a second. All right, so charcoal. When I'm working with the Judge, this is usually how I start my charcoal. I use the regular charcoal chimney starter that I use most of the time. I stuff the bottom end full of paper. You can use newspaper or watered up paper with a little olive oil, or some Tumbleweed starters, whatever you want. Okay, this is how I'm doing it, and I just do it right here on the charcoal grate. I'll go ahead and raise this all the way up so it just makes it a little bit easier to work with, and I'm going to go ahead and load this full of charcoal right here. There we go. And one good chimney full of charcoal should be more than enough for this cook. And let's go ahead and fire it up here. It's going to take about 15-20 minutes for this charcoal to be as hot as I want it to be. And then I'll go ahead and lay it down on the grate here, and we'll start moving on to other things. In the meantime, I'm going to get the pork ready to go. Okay, if you notice me sweating a little bit, it's because it's still 93 degrees out here, even though it's almost 7 o'clock, so it's a little bit warm. Just going to go ahead and season up this pork while we let that fire get rolling here. Got my own little barbecue rub here that I'm just going to apply to this. And then we're going to set this aside off into the refrigerator and just kind of keep it chilling, because this is going to be the last thing that goes onto the grill. There we go. That'll do. What we're going to do is after we get this cooked up and charred up nicely, we're going to be lathering it up with some nice barbecue sauce, and these are going to be some nice tasty treats. Okay? All right. That looks good. Let's go in the fridge. All right, the charcoal is lit up enough to where I'm going to go ahead and get it into the Judge. And let me show you how I determine that. A couple things to look at here. You see flame coming out of the top of this thing. That's one indicator. And also, I like using these little holes on the side. When we've got 3 bars at the top, you see orange, we know we're good to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump this. And I want to mention before, I'm going to keep the charcoal over here just to be a little safer. I'm going to go ahead and drop this down a notch. There we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pour this down right in here. Now notice there's some black charcoal that hasn't lit up yet. That's totally cool, because that's going to be covered in burning charcoal, and we're going to let that finish lighting up just a little bit more. While it's doing that, we're going to use this as an opportunity to go ahead and get the grates heated up and cleaned and ready to put food on them. So I'm just going to arrange the charcoal a little bit right now. Enough of it is burning to where I can spread it the way I want it. I'm going to go ahead and have the charcoal covering about 30% of the charcoal grate. Going to keep it mostly all the way over here to the right side. There we go. So this area right here is going to be the real hot zone, and it's going to be a little bit cooler as we move to the left. And we'll get these grates in place, and I'll show you how I clean up the grates and get them ready to cook on. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Grates are in place. And down here, I'm going to make sure that the intake vent is wide open. So we got airflow going in. Could bring down the lid. And oh, before I do that, I'm going to drop this down one more notch. I don't need it that close to the grate. So it's about halfway now. Bring down the lid, make sure the exhaust is wide open. And now we're going to let this just cook for about just a couple minutes. It's going to give it enough time for this temperature gauge to come up, and the grates that are on top of that fire are going to get super hot, and then I can scrub them and clean them. I'll do a little rotate, and you'll see that here in a second. All right, it's been a couple minutes, and the temperature on the gauge up here on the Judge is over 300 degrees now, so that grate inside here is getting nice and hot. So let's do a quick scrub-a-roo here. Here's what I do. I just like to take my scraper and make sure I'm getting rid of any loose chunks on the top all the way across. Then take my brush and scrub it up real good, like so. This grate is very well oiled because I oil it every time I use it, and I also make sure to leave the drippings, the fat and stuff like that from whatever I cooked on it, so that way it doesn't rust and it stays really in good condition. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and lift this one over here, and I'm going to take my other grate holder here, hook, and I'm going to just slide the whole thing over and put that one there like that. And then I can take this one here, pick that up, and slide the whole thing over like so. And then put that there. There we go. And now, I did it crooked that time. I get crooked. There. Now, these two were directly over the heat, getting super hot, and these two were over here. I swapped them, so now these two are going to get super hot, and we'll be ready to cook in just a couple more minutes. All that charcoal down there is looking really good. It's whiting over, so as it is for now, that charcoal is ready to cook with. But we're just going to give it a couple more minutes, and then we're going to oil up the grates one more time, and we're going to start getting some food on there. All right, it's been a couple minutes, and those grates are blazing hot and nice and clean now, so I think we can go ahead and start talking about getting some food on these grates. And so first, I'm just going to go ahead and oil them up a little bit. There we go. So now that they're super hot, I just like to give them a nice little, broke my bottle, that's okay. We'll fix that later. Anyways, I got enough oil on there. So normally I would just make sure and give it all a nice little spray of oil. So told you before, things for cooking. Corn, the pork shoulder, and the pork shoulder strips, and potatoes and stuff. So to get them all off at the same time, I'm going to want to kind of stagger what I get onto the grill here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the corn. Get this on here, and I'm going to let that start to get really hot. I'm just going to give that a few minutes on its own, because I think the corn is going to take the longest to cook. Usually I like to leave the corn in the hot environment here for about an hour, but I don't want it directly over the coals. Another thing is I'm going to go ahead and drop this all the way down to the last notch here, so that way the heat isn't too close to the corn. That corn's going to start cooking in the husk like that. And then I'm going to be getting the potatoes on next, because they're going to be the second longest thing to cook. They'll probably take about 30 minutes. And shortly after that, I'll be getting the pork on there, and we're making progress. So time on the ThermoPro temperature thermometer and clock is 7:14. Okay, so remember that, and we'll see what time this is done. And yeah, okay. Okay, it's only 7:15. It's only been 1 minute, but I forgot to mention something earlier. I want to slow down that fire. I don't want to burn it super hot. So up here, the exhaust vent, I'm going to go ahead and close that way down to where there's only just a little bit here, like about I don't know, 10% open. See, all the way down to about right there. I want to really slow the airflow down in there. That's going to trap the heat inside the cover here, and with the airflow going so slow, it's going to calm down that fire there, so it's not burning super hot. The intake vent down there, I'm just going to leave it wide open. It's fine. That's what seems to work really well for the Joe's Judge charcoal grill here, and so that's it for now. Yeah. Okay, time. It is now 7:25 on the clock, and just so you know, the corn has been where it was for the last 10 minutes now, but 5 minutes ago, I rolled them all over just to kind of make sure I got some good heat going on both sides. By closing off this vent up top here, the exhaust vent, the temperature is stabilized. It was creeping up closer to 400, and it came down and settled right in around 330 mark or so on the gauge there. So just by closing that off like that, it really tamed the flame down below. So let's go ahead and open this up. And now we're going to want to get the potatoes on the grill. So I can get rid of these guys here. Just going to move these off to the side. I can feel them. They feel good. They're softening up a little already. So now the potatoes, I'm going to go ahead, put this pan here like this, and I'm going to close the lid. I'm just going to give that about a minute to get a little hot, okay? Time is now 7:27. That pan that I put on the Judge here was a stainless steel barbecue pan, and what I've got here is these are potatoes. That's, I don't know, they're the colorful kind, and olive oil and Italian seasoning, and I just toss it up like that. I'm going to put these in that pan. I'm going to let them start roasting, and we want to make sure these get nice and soft. It's going to take about 30 minutes, and so let's go ahead and get those into the pan now, like so, and it's going to kind of even them out a little bit here. There we go. Pretty simple deal. And I'm going to close the lid. I've got the vent now opened to about halfway, so I'll let the temperature come up just a little bit more. And we're going to give this probably about 20 minutes of cooking, and then we'll be getting that pork on. This right here is my favorite part of the cook, when I'm just kind of waiting for the fire to do its thing and just enjoying the atmosphere out here. And hey, I hope you're doing the same. Salute, my friends. Time is now 7:51 on the ThermoPro thermometer clock, and that means the potatoes have been cooking for a good solid 20-25 minutes or so. And remember, the goal here is to try to get everything to be done at about the same time. Now the corn is the easiest, because even if it goes, once it gets cooked enough, then it can stay on the grill and be fine, because it's wrapped up in its own husk there. The moisture is trapped inside, and it's going to be fine. Potatoes, want to make sure they're cooked. I also wanted to make sure they don't get like overcooked and gross. And then this pork, this pork shoulder strips they're not super thick, and so it's not going to be like a slow and low cook like I would do with a whole pork shoulder and making pulled pork or something. I'm going to do this more like a pork steak. So those can be a little bit faster right over the heat. So I think the most important thing in this cook is the potatoes. And this is just one of those things you have to kind of learn to feel, so that you get the results you want based on just like, okay, the size of the potato, the density of the potato, and the knowing how long the corn cooks and everything like that. So let's have a look at the potatoes here, and about what I expected. They're looking good here, and it's going to kind of give them a little bit of a stir. I don't know if you noticed here real quick, the temperature was holding right around the 330, 325 mark. It's kind of come down already since I lifted the lid there. But I can feel the potatoes are starting to get a little soft here. Just by touching them with the spatula here, I can kind of feel them. They're looking good. I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. They smell really good. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add these mushrooms. I'm going to let them start cooking in there as well. Just kind of stir them in a little bit. There we go. And let's go ahead and get this pork on and balance. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and raise the grates up a little bit so I can get that heat a little bit closer. Whew, thank God for these gloves. It's one of the nice things about using these gloves. It just kind of helps. Like if I ended up like I did just now, if I ended up, you know, picking up something dirty, whatever, I can just strip off the gloves. They're affordable, so I can, you know, go ahead and I don't mind wasting a couple of them real quick. Instead of balancing that up there, I do all kinds of weird stuff when I'm on camera because like I have stuff in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw on a new set here. But now that my hands are slightly damp, that's another thing. Good thing these things are strong. That's why I like the Pitbull gloves. They don't rip like those blue ones do. There we go. All right. And we can go ahead and get these onto the grill. I'm gonna go directly over the fire. There we go. Up. And we're going to get these cooking. All right, now we're going to get that lid down, and we're going to give it about 5 minutes. And I'm going to pick it up and flip those over, see how they're doing. This corn, it's going to go ahead and roll that over. We're doing good there. Corn's looking good. And I'm going to go ahead. I got one. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and let it get a good airflow. It's open up all the way now. And so time is 7:55, so at 8 o'clock we're going to open it up, check it out. All right, time. It is now 8:01 on the clock. It's been slightly more than 5 minutes, okay? The smoke coming out of the stack here looks really good, and it smells really good. I was thinking about using my ThermoPro Temp Spike Pros to monitor the temperature of those pork strips, but I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to check the temperature with this. Honestly, I can tell by feel, but I want to show you what the cooking temperature gets up to, to make sure we're in that safe range. We want to get this up to above 165 is the goal. But let's have a look inside here and see how this pork's doing. Okay, so we've got a little bit of flame just barely starting to lick the bottom sides of these pork strips here, and they're, I can tell they're looking real good. Oop, there we go. Let's give that a flip. Look at that color. Nailed it. I am happy with what I'm seeing there. Let's go ahead and flip them all over. The ones in the middle are going to have the most color because they're right on top of that flame. That is beautiful. I like that. And there we go. That's looking real good too. Yeah, we're in good shape here. I like what I'm seeing, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to, do I want to sauce them yet? I think I do want to sauce them. I'm going to go ahead and sauce these right now. So got my cool little sauce cup here, and I'm going to go ahead and get some sauce on these guys. And I'm also going to now start being careful. I'm going to give it about 4 or 5 minutes on this side down, and let the other side char up a little bit. And then I think I'm going to be careful with that fire. I'm going to probably choke down the airflow a little bit because I want to make sure that it doesn't start burning anything. So I'm going to get these sauced up like this, and I'm going to close the lid. All right, I've got these sauced up nicely now. I'm going to go ahead and close the lid. I'm just going to give it about 4 minutes or so, and then we're going to flip them again, and maybe apply some more sauce to the other side, and then slow down the airflow. Time is now 8:09. Let's have a look here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and lower the fire grate back down because I got that sear that I was looking for on the pork. I'm not going to need that close to the meat anymore. And let's have a look at these and flip them over. That is looking pretty. That's the color I'm looking for. Yeah. Let's flip all these over. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. I like it. That looks perfect. That looks perfect. Okay, good. I almost put that down there. That's not where that goes. While we're at it, let's take a quick look over here. And these potatoes are looking good. Let's see, how about soft-wise? Oh yeah, that's, I think they're cooking up nicely. So We're gonna go ahead and just let those do their things, but the mushrooms are starting to get some nice color too. All right, so now let's go ahead and get some sauce on the other side of this pork, and we will continue cooking. I'm estimating another 5 to 10 minutes. Right after I sauce these, I'm gonna just check the temperature and we'll see where we are. All right, we've got the pork sauced up nicely there. And let's take a quick peek at the temperature. And let's just go right in there. Yeah, 159. We're almost where we want to be. 162. 161. We're almost where we want to be. Yeah, so we're getting really close to done temperature. Gonna let that down for another 5 minutes, and then we will we'll have a look again. Time is now 8:15, and well, 8:14. It's gonna be 8:15 in a few seconds, and it's time to go ahead and get this pork off the grill. I'm not even gonna bother checking the temperature with the ThermoPro Lightning because I know that it's good based on where we were 5 minutes ago. And I'm gonna get the pork off, and we're gonna have a look and see what we got here. All right, so here we go. All right, so it smells fantastic. The color is great. I love what I'm seeing here. Let's just go ahead and pick that up, and oh my gosh, look at that. Can you see? I think that looks pretty. That's very nice. Just gonna go ahead and take these all off and let these rest up a little bit. Okay, there's that. All right, I'm gonna set these over here. And let's have a look at these potatoes. They have a really nice color to them. You can tell they're soft. They're definitely not burnt. Get a little browning going on. This is definitely what I wanted to see. These potatoes are they're good to go. Notice how they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan or anything. And gosh, that's perfect. Gonna go ahead and get those off here in a second too. And let's have a look at the corn. All right, that's why I put the gloves on here, because these suckers are nice and hot. But let's go ahead and check these out. I'll peel one back a little bit. My garbage bowl. All right, how we do on this corn? Ah, look at that. Can you see that? That is perfect. It is tender. The corn is perfectly cooked. Man, I want to give that a bite, but I will burn myself for sure. It is piping hot, but the corn is good. Notice how just easily it peels back too when it's fully cooked like that inside the husk. It's my favorite way to do corn. We're just going to go ahead and wrap that back up for now, and I'll get that off the grill here in a second. So, you know what? Let's just do it right now. Let's get everything off. Make some room here. Okay. I'm making a mess. I'm not the most organized today. All right, so corn. Let's get this corn off. Here we go. Corn is good to go. And let's go ahead and take this pan off also. There's the potatoes and mushrooms. Those look good. There we go. And so the judge over here, we've still got some charcoal down in there. That's some good stuff. So like I always do, I'm going to go ahead and close the lid, and I'm going to completely close off the air, top and bottom. There we go. And then that way the fire will die out, and I'll be able to use up the rest of that charcoal on the next cook. So let's check out this pork. All right, so it's been a couple minutes, and hopefully things have cooled off a little bit real quick. So let me just grab one of these potatoes here, and we're going to give this a bite and see how we did. Nailed it. And grilled potatoes like that are freaking awesome. All right, so let's have a look at this pork here. Gonna go in this big piece right here. There we go. Get a nice close look at that. That's a beautiful piece of meat. It's perfectly done all the way through. I'm gonna take a little slice off of that here. We're looking real good. It's juicy inside. And, oh man, that is fantastic. Apples are falling. All right, let me get a taste here. I like that drip. Mmm. Mmm. It is time to eat. Did you just get hit by an apple? Was that, did it roll over and hit you? Thank you very much. I hope this has been fun and educational and inspiring and whatever. Any comments, questions, I appreciate them all. Any requests, I take those too. Thank you very much for watching. This is Tony Tone Barbecue. I'm Tony, and hey, have fun, my friends. Take care.